eggs. And actually, I've never had the flavoured Scotch egg. I've always had like the traditional type. A few different flavours to choose from, 3 I think. I've gone with this one, which is a barbecue flavour. So, oh, smells nice of barbecue. It's very like sticky on the outside because I guess it's got all the barbecue sauce in it. So I haven't quite made it into the actual egg yet because there's a nice thick layer of sausage meat. It is so nice. So it's got a really nice barbecue, sweet, quite a kick, a small kick, not a huge kick, but yeah, sweet and spicy and a nice barbecue taste, and the sausage meat tastes nice. I need to get into the egg. Finally made it into the egg. It took quite a few bites to get inside to that bit, and it's a really nice egg. It's so much better than shop Scotch eggs, so much better. Shop one's always so disappointing. Really nice. Recommend trying the Scotch eggs if you're a Scotch egg fan. So on to Bennett's fish and chip shop. So my friend recommended this place, I think, when we were in Weymouth a few trips ago, but this is the first time I actually got to try it. I recently watched Greeno Eats do a video going there, and he really liked it, and there's something that I wanted to try from there. They're famous for a mackerel bap. Now I'm not really sure if mackerel baps are a thing in other fish and chip shops. They probably are, and maybe in Dorset in particular, not really too sure there, but there's certainly something that Bennett is famous for how good their ones are in particular. And when Greeno did visit this particular fish and chip shops, he had one of the mackerel baps, and that made me want to try it even more, because I really like mackerel, and this is like a good sort of twist on your typical fish and chips. So yeah, this is what I had. So I had the bap, and I also had chips, mushy peas, and a nice cup of Dorset tea. Being in Dorset, I like to have the Dorset tea. But yeah, I like Dorset tea. It's got a nice taste. It was a very nice cuppa actually, right amount of milk, etc. Yeah, so I enjoyed that. Anyway, onto the main thing, the food. So first of all, the bap. As you can see, inside that bap, the pieces of mackerel are huge. I wasn't expecting them to be that big. I could see they were pretty big from like videos and photos I'd seen, but seeing them live, they're massive. And actually, for this price, very good value, because they tasted so nice. I didn't realise it was actually going to be smoked mackerel, because I was thinking, smoked, surely it's not going to be smoked mackerel, because being fried and with all the batter, that sounds like it's all going to be a bit too oily. But it must be how they made the batter and how they cooked it and how they didn't use too much oil, because it really wasn't too oily. It just tasted perfect. So I've never had smoked mackerel battered at all before and then fried. This was my first time, and yeah, it was really nice. The way they had done it was really nice. You can see really nice batter, not too thick, not too thin, not too oily, which is really important. The fish inside was so like fresh and soft and tasty. Some people may find, just because it's smoked, it a bit too rich, but that's probably just going to be if you find smoked mackerel too rich anyway. Somehow having it in batter, as I say, didn't make it too like overly rich. It was just a really nice combination. You could have on it a choice of sauces. I went for tartar. Thought that'd be nice to try their tartar. I don't know if it's homemade, but it was the nicest tartar sauce I've had in a long time. Because when I've been going to fish and chips recently, fish and chip shops, sorry, it's just been the standard ones in sachets, wholesale tartar sauce, and it's nothing special. But this, I wonder if it was homemade, because it had this really nice fresh taste, fresh and little herby, whatever herbs they used. I think there might have been some capers in there, how you traditionally make tartar sauce with. Yeah, it was just really nice consistency and taste. And then the bap itself, I wasn't expecting to be a brioche, but I think actually that was a mark of genius, because the sweetness of the brioche bun helps with like the oiliness of the fish, of the smoked fish, the mackerel, and then the batter. Perfect combination. And to be honest, I could have just had that bap on its own, because it was so filling. That would have done me for lunch, but I just really wanted to try their chips and also see if I can find some good mushy peas, because the last few times when I've gone to fish and chip shops, their mushy peas have been like tasteless. Well, let's do the mushy peas. They weren't. They were the best mushy peas I've had in a very long time. Really full of flavour, nice natural sweetness, really good consistency, much better than the typical bog standard. And then the chips were great. They were all so quite fairly thick and fluffy. It's completely fluffy inside and fairly thick, and then a nice crunch on the outside. Again, they were some of the nicest chips I've had in a while. Really, really nice. The whole thing was a really, really nice lunch. It was so filling. I had to have a much lighter dinner later on because it was super filling. And as I say, really good value for the quality, and getting fish and chips in this day and age, really good. I would also point out how nice the staff were. So you can eat in, which we did just because it was raining outside. Luckily there was a seat. There's quite a few seats for a fish and chip shop. And there's sort of one checkout where you go if you're eating in, and one where you're going for the takeaway. Both queues were very busy. So it is well sort of signpost where you go, but obviously understandably people don't always notice a signpost. So there was a lot of asking the staff members sort of which queue do I go and all that kind of thing, or they're in the wrong queue. But they were just so polite time and time after again, friendly and helpful, and yet were to us as well. Server's really nice, and the cashier, everything really, really good. So I highly recommend this fish and chip shop if you've never been. Probably the best thing I ate whilst I was in Weymouth was the food they provided here. So muffins, yeah, muffins was literally, I mean, well, it was, I mean, yeah, stone's throw away from my hotel, less than that really. I could almost just step into it. It was literally across the road from my hotel. It's quite fitting that this breakfast for muffins looks like a heart. If you look on the plate, it's kind of heart shaped. Because I did love it, and it was one of the best fry-ups I've had in a long time. So yeah, you might look at it at first and think, standard fry-up, standard breakfast, and it is the standard sort of traditional lineup really. But the reason why it was above average and the best fry-up I've had from a calf or anywhere else I've eaten at in a while was just because it was cooked like to perfection, and the ingredients they used were so nice. So I mean, yes, you can get breakfast cheap, and yes, you absolutely can. And you can in Weymouth, and you can in other places, and you can get some nice ones. But this was above average, is what I will say. It was perfectly filling as well, because although you kind of got one of everything, because there was quite a few different things going on there was enough. I mean, there are other breakfast options. Also, I've got to try one of their muffins sometime. After all, that is what they're famous for. But I'd heard their breakfast is really good, and yeah, have to agree. So the sausage was like really herby, really nice and herby. Not much in the way of spice, black pepper, but just sort of a nice herby, fresh herby taste. That was not the bog standard catering sausage that I fear when you eat a breakfast out. The mushrooms were really nice. Tomato was really nice, cooked perfectly. The black pudding was really nice, cooked perfectly. I like black pudding when it's just slightly more done on the outside, like a tiniest bit of a crunch, but obviously not charred or anything, like not overcooked, and then still nice and soft in the inside. So hash brown, really nice hash brown, that was cooked perfectly. Um, Beans, they were nice beans, not some cheap and nasty beans. Well, some cheap beans are nice actually, but they weren't nasty beans basically. And then the eggs were cooked absolutely perfectly. Like, I always like it when the yolk is pink. But yeah, we had a good amount of runniness and really, really nice eggs. Now, there's the fried bread. I literally allow myself one piece of fried bread about once every year, because I like the first few bites of it. It's nice, but it's far too oily for me. Like, I can't take the oiliness. It is too oily, and it feels like you're eating all the oil you should eat in about 6 years or something in that one bit of toast. Yeah, and it can be a bit sickly, but it was done really, really nicely. It's just for me, it is too oily. So if I was going to have it again, I would probably just, as you can see, it came with 2 regular slices of toast. That would be absolutely fine. Yeah, but yeah, they cooked it very well, don't get me wrong. And this is the great thing. Speaking of the oiliness, apart from obviously the bread, the fried bread, because that is the whole point of it, everything else had a lot less oil. Like, it sometimes it can be, things can be like fry ups can be caked in oil, be too greasy. This wasn't. They used just perfect amount, so it wasn't too oily. You can see by the eggs how they're just not being cooked in too much oil, and in fresh oil as well, not used old oil or anything like that, which you sometimes can tell when that's been done. Yeah, absolutely one of the best fry ups I've had in a very long time from any cafe, pub or restaurant. I'd also say the server was really nice, very friendly person, didn't catch her name, but we had a good chat with her, very nice lady. And yeah, the chef did a perfect job, so highly recommended.